we did not get a chance to interview Alvin Straight. So when Mary and I sat down to write the first draft, and we start out with the first scene, we laid out 80 scenes, right? And then you go back and you start writing the first scene. And we ran smack dab into the issue of what did Alvin Straight sound like? And we knew in broad terms what men from rural Midwestern America sounded like. But his experience was different than our father's experience. And so I have to really give Mary a tremendous amount of credit. She remembered a researcher who had done a book during the Depression about the language of horse traders. And horse traders, went from town to town buying and selling horses. And the book was a little bit about the vernacular that they used, but in describing that, you really described the language of that time. And so we found that and we went over it, and that really opened the door for us, because he couldn't sound like a cowboy, right? He wasn't in the 1800s. He was in the early 1900s. But there's precious little data about how Americans spoke at that time. Maybe movies, but that's Hollywood. And again, what did rural America sound like? So thanks to Mary, we used that book as a way to kind of open the door to what Alvin might sound like.
Rosie, I've got to go see Lyle. And I've got to make this trip on my own. I know you understand.
And then for me personally, my dad played minor league baseball in the 50s. And if you know anything about baseball, you know that baseball players have a lot of time on their hands during the game, in the bullpen, traveling. And a lot of minor league ball players are country boys. And my dad's lingo and my dad's anecdotes and turn of a phrase were really informed by that experience. And I use some of his phrases now, and people just laugh like hell. And they go, "Where'd you hear that?" I said, "I heard it from my dad." And I think he heard it in, dugouts all around the Midwest playing, D-ball. So I think it was an amalgam of those two. And I do think this, you have to have an ear for other dialects and other generations of talking. And Wisconsin especially, we have a wonderful mishmash of nationalities and, urban and rural. Once again, you can't live in Wisconsin without being affected by the farm culture. So I think that informed us as well.